Hey everybody, it's Mike, aka That Reseller Guy. Today we're going to do some antique booth talk, and it's going to be like a monthly, bi-weekly. I'm not sure how often I'm going to do this, but I do like to talk about antique booths a lot because, as I say, I think every time I talk about them, it's a great way to make some semi-passive extra income. Add it as another revenue stream to your business. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about how my sales have been over the last month or so. We're going to talk about sports cards that I have in my antique booth versus some of the other antique booths that have cards. And then I'm going to show you a viewer's booth. They contacted me. It's been a little bit over a month ago that I filmed this. They have a booth at Brass Armadillo as well. So I'm going to show their booth a little bit, show you what they did. I actually really like theirs, so make sure you stay tuned till the end of the video. You can see that segment that I do on their booth. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. All right, first off, maybe some of you are going to notice, but look, I'm missing a couple pictures up here, and there's a reason for that. They're starting to fade. One thing that happens a lot with autographs that you have on display is the autographs can start fading out. Part of the reason is behind the camera here, there's a window that lets sunlight in. Sunlight is bad for autographs. I do have some baseballs up here, but they are in UV protected cases, and that protects them from fading out and from the sunlight fading them. But unfortunately, some of the ones I had up here were starting to fade, and I actually want to sell them off before they get where you can't even see the autograph anymore. Right now, they're still okay. They're still worth listing and selling, and will still look nice in someone else's office. But I'm going to do something different with this space, so I went ahead and took those to my booth and listed them, or put them up for sale this week. All right, I have to put on my glasses. I can't read without them. So I got two of my invoices here. These are from the last two pay periods at my antique booth ending on 5/29 and 5/15. We're going to go back to the 5/15 one first because that sales week was a little bit better. This time of year, it's getting really hot here in Arizona. And this week especially because not only is it hot, it's been humid already out there. So it's kind of gross outside right now to be outside and do things. And all the winter visitors have gone back to their states where it's not this hot. I'm going to throw the picture from my phone up showing what the forecast is for the rest of the week. It's hot. People don't want to go outside and shop when it's this hot. So sales the last couple weeks have slowed down a little bit. So this pay period, it was still really strong. So first, let's look here. I'm going to show you here on the screen. I'm not going to take any pictures today. We're not going to do a close-up. I'm not going to walk through every sale that I had again. But you can see the total sales were $851. And this is over a 2-week period. One antique booth, like 8x10, whatever my booth is, for a net check of $629. Now, my rent is $115 every 2 weeks. Then they keep 10% for fees. Then they do some credit card processing fees and a few other little things. So pay about 12% in total fees plus rent. Now, I haven't broken down my invoice yet. I go through and I break it down by items that I thrifted, sports collectible items, and then sports cards, and then comics. So I have 4 categories that I like to track, see how each of them are doing. Comics have actually been doing really well for me still. I have 1 box of comic books there, and I need to get more. I need to find a good source for some comics where I can get them cheap, because I sell them relatively cheap, anywhere from like $1.50. I do have some like $3 and $5 comics in there, ones that are worthy of those price tags. But yeah, I've been moving quite a few comic books out there, so I definitely want to get more into my booth. One thing that does sell all the time for me out of my booth is the Funko Pop Figures. They're still very popular. A lot of people say they're going to be like Beanie Babies someday, that nobody's going to care, that you're going to see them in Goodwills for $1. Right now, I don't think that's the case. Could that happen in another 5 or 10 years? Maybe. But what they have going for them is the themes that they have for each of the figures. So anytime a new video game gets hot, they make a set. A new TV show gets hot, they make a set. And that's what keeps it going. They're not just random colors or different animals like Beanie Babies were. These have a theme to them. People like this show, they like this game, and they want to collect the figures. A couple weeks ago, I put about 30 pops in my booth, and I'm down to 1 left. So they have just about sold out, except for that one last little one in there. So if you have an antique booth, if you can find good deals on Funko Pops, get them and put them in there. Now, I am selective with them. I don't put everyone in there. There's a lot of duds out there. I don't want the dud ones in there. I want the top characters. I want the top shows. I want ones that are going to sell. This video is not sponsored by Bang. Delish Strawberry Kiss. Yeah, it tastes like a strawberry soda. Just had to try this one today. All right, so that's it for this one. Again, I don't want to go over too much stuff individually here, but that was a good sales week. Pushing $900 in total sales for 2 weeks. I'm really happy when that happened. So we get to this last couple weeks. I could already tell I was like a page thinner this pay period. And we'll look here. Total sales, $617. So the total sales was actually less than I got as my net check last month. And $423. So again, that same $115 in rent plus about 12% in total fees gives me my net amount now. One of the things that I definitely notice, and part of it is because when I go to my booth, it's not as messy as it used to be. I have 3 different boxes of sports cards up on top, and if those are really messy, I know that I've sold a lot of cards because a lot of people have been going through them. But sports card sales are kind of down for me right now. Part of it is just the amount of traffic that's in the mall. Plus the sports card market has taken a slight little downturn, so that has slowed down my sales as well. So still, if just this amount was selling every 2 weeks, I'd be perfectly happy with that. My goal has been always $1,000 plus in sales each month. I've been totally exceeding that this year. Part of it is because I've been really putting my focus into it. But yeah, that's what I sold for the couple weeks. And I think this next check is going to be about the same as this one. All right, so this next little segment, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to turn out. I filmed this like a month or a month and a half ago. It's been on my to-do list for a while. As I talk about the cards that I do have for sale in my antique booth. They're $1, $1.50, maybe $2 type cards. And I only put top tier players, Hall of Famers, the top stars from each sport in there. I don't fill it with junk like a lot of the other booths do. So I'm going to show you some cards that were from my booth, and then I'm going to compare them to a couple other booths that are out there, and I'll show you why that I do pretty well with my card sales. I think I'm going to have to do a talk over it because the music that plays in the mall is a little bit too loud. So let's go check that out. All right, let's check out the cards from my antique booth here. This is actually like the second or third time I've had to do this voiceover. It's been kind of messing up, getting a little frustrated with it, but here we go again. You see the cards that I got here. These are all stars from baseball. I do separate all my cards by sport. Every card comes in a top loader, and you'll see these are the top players for each team currently. They're Hall of Famers, all-time greats, all type of names that people in sport should recognize. So I think that's why I sell so many of these. These are all $1.50 cards that you're seeing here. I don't think any of these are over that. And again, good quality cards. And because I do separate them by sport, and actually, before we get to that, here's a little section. I do put some, we'll say, better cards in there, cards that are like $2.50, $3, and I do tape these shut. This makes sure that people aren't switching sleeves and trying to get these $3 cards for $1 by changing some out. So I do some better cards in there, and the majority of these have already sold. I think I've only got 4 or 5 of those left in there. We're switching over to basketball now, and we'll see, most of these guys are all stars. Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Paul, Clyde Drexler. The one thing that I was missing in this video is current players. I didn't have a whole lot of new players in there, and I just took a bunch out to my booth when I went out there this week and took about 100, 150 more good cards out there of Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, those types. So there's a lot of even bigger names than you're seeing here. We're going to go over to football. Same thing. We got more of the top stars. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Ben Roethlisberger, Dan Marino, John Elway. So yeah, it has all the stars. There's no junk in here. This is all good stars for $1, $1.50 per card. And I think there's some good values in here. Show you the last couple, and then we'll get over to someone else's booth. All right, here we are, competitor's booth. This one's actually in an open case. This isn't a full booth. This is someone that just has a display case there. And you can see, first off, they mix all the sports together. They don't separate them by sport. It makes it a little bit harder to go through if all you're interested in is baseball or basketball. And they have a bunch of different types of cases. And you can see I'm kind of fumbling through these because it's hard to go through these when they're in different kind of top loaders, different brands. Some of them were just in sleeves and not in a card holder. So yeah, it was just kind of difficult flipping through these. And again, you can just see the names. There's common cards in here that essentially nobody really wants. So yeah, there are a few stars in there. Some aren't too bad.
we'll come across one card in here that I actually kind of like because it was a grease trading card. I kind of like non-sport cards, so that one's towards the end here. But you kind of see what some of the competition has. All right, last couple cards, and then we're going to flip over to a picture here. This was one other case out there that said no commons on the box, and I just threw a few random cards on there from the front. It was all commons.
All right, I hope that turned out okay. We'll see. We'll see how that worked out. I hope you liked it. I hope you like seeing what kind of cards that I sell. Now, the next little segment, I wish I remember their names. I know they sent me a message. I was hoping it was showing in your antique booth on your little wall plaque that you have, but your names weren't on there. So this is a viewer. She contacted me and let me know that they opened up a booth out at the Brass Armadillo. It's kind of way in the back. And I really like the way they had this set up. So I'm going to show you some pictures and do some talk over with that as well. I don't remember the pictures I took because I did them the same time as I did those sports card videos. So the one thing that I remember is half guy, half girl booth. I really like that. So let's check that out.
All right, we're starting here. Welcome to his stuff and her stuff. He loves Star Wars and all things toys. She loves Pyrex and all things vintage. So I really like their little welcome sign here. I like how down on the bottom you have a picture of a couple different Star Wars ships on the lower left, and you got a couple of pictures you've drawn of the vintage Pyrex and stuff, and then you got the pool in the middle that you're trying to get some money for. So I thought this picture was really cool. All right, this is looking at the her side of the booth, and you can kind of see it looks like some of the his stuff is creeping over to this side. We'll scroll in here. We got a Porg up here. We got some like Transformers and other stuff. We got Mater down there at the bottom. But you can see there's some cool vintage Tupperware, some Pyrex back here. And this is the tag that's on there. So it has a description of what it is and the price. And somewhere on there I think they have a tag that the Brass Armadillo requires with your booth number and all that. But I did like the special tag that you put on there. All right, we're looking at something from the his side. We got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. We got Chewbacca. You can see some Pokemon films, some plush. Got some Nerf toys here. Now, what I did like that they did with the Nerf toys is they used some zip ties to keep everything together. Now, that was a really smart move. If you didn't do that, people would take the magazine out. They'll take the scope off. They'll mess with it a lot. So looks like you put a couple different price tags on there too, maybe. One there by the handle and one over here as well. That one you marked $35 for this one with the scope. And here's a full view of the booth with his side, and we'll kind of do some scrolling or some zooming in so you can see here. My Little Pony on the his side, I'm not quite sure about that, but that's all right. You got the My Little Pony, got some superheroes at the bottom, you got Power Rangers, you got Transformers, you got Star Wars. We'll scroll over here a little bit. You see we got some stuff from, it looks like Monsters, Inc. You got Superman. And then that's the section there. Now, the one thing with like the VHS and the movies, it was really hard to get over there with everything that was down on the floor near those. So that's one thing that I would improve. I either put those in a different spot or do something, keep the floor a little cleaner. So yeah, that's you can see up at the very top, it says his stuff up there. And you can see her stuff there like on the chalkboard. So I thought that was a really unique way of doing this booth. And you can see somebody was nice enough to put a couple Coke cans on somebody's shelf. I'm not sure if that was theirs or somebody else's, but I just want to show this is what people do at antique malls. They leave their stuff around for you. All right, we're going to go back. We're going to go back and look at your sign again. Again, I really like this. If you happen to watch this video and you are the owner of this booth, please let me know. I forgot your names. I sincerely apologize, but I hope this little promo video for your booth makes up for it. So I like the way you're doing things so far. Let me know how your sales are going.
I hope you like their booth. If you go to the Brass Armadillo, you're in Arizona, you want to check out their stuff, they got some fun stuff in their booth, just to let them know if they happen to watch this video. I did look in the booth. I looked for anything that we were looking for, anything that I collect and my wife collects. She collects Goofy and Lego. That's about it. Didn't see anything there. But if anybody else liked what they saw, again, they're way in the back. I think I put the booth number on there, so go check them out. That wraps things up. But before you go, if you didn't get in the drawing for last week, the How Much Did Mike Spend at Goodwill, you still have a chance. Today's Wednesday as I'm filming this. You have until Friday when I announce it. You got to put your guess in the video, the one where it says I spent $2,000. So that's the video where you got to put your entry, guess how much I spent at Goodwill last month. Other than that, just give this video a thumbs up now. I think this one's going to turn out all right. Probably deserving of the thumbs up. So thanks everybody for watching. New people, hit that button down below. Hit subscribe. See you next time.